Well, as we all are aware, Americans have been dealing with high costs on their grocery and energy bills for months.
But surging prices and fees are also creeping into several other areas. Surge pricing is nothing new for those who use mobile apps like Uber. These companies boost rates when demand spikes, like during bad weather, rush hour, or special events. The Wall Street Journal reports surge pricing, also commonly known as dynamic pricing, is also spreading to places you might not realize, like restaurants, gym classes, movie theaters, and more.
One example is a bowling alley in California that charged customers more than $400 to reserve 2 lanes for 2 hours during the height of the holiday season. That's around double the usual price. Well, joining us now to discuss more of this is Robert Shumsky. He is a professor of operations management at Dartmouth College's Tuck School of Business. Robert, thanks for being here. So, first of all, let's just talk about how this can happen. We understand how surge pricing works for Ubers or airlines, but how does it work for a restaurant, for example?
Well, first, thanks for having me. Yeah, restaurants often have trouble balancing demand and supply. So if there's an unexpected surge of reservations, for example, they might not have enough tables. And there's a few ways to deal with that. One way is just to turn away customers, but another way is to raise prices in real time to try to sort of sort out which customers are more willing to pay for that special time. And it's more and more prevalent in a variety of industries. And you'll see it on your apps, and you'll see it when you visit your restaurant or your amusement park or even your bowling alley.
Well, why are we seeing this kind of surge pricing in this increasing number of businesses and services now, especially at a time when people are cognizant of their paychecks and the inflation that we see all around us?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, one reason is just there's more data available to firms to make these decisions. Because of the apps, they're collecting information about demand at certain times. They know how many customers are needing a service. And this gives them a flood of information that allows them to make better decisions on prices. Better is...
I was going to say, better in the eye of the beholder.
better is a fraught word, better to some people, but not to others. Another reason is the availability of algorithms. Surge pricing used to be really the province of very, very large corporations. So the airlines pioneered the idea back in the 80s and 90s. As you know, airline prices will spike and plummet depending on real-time demand. And large companies like airlines could afford the algorithms and the scientists to develop these ideas. But now you have algorithms being rolled out to smaller businesses and being made available through third parties that allow businesses to make these real-time decisions. And then I think the last reason, the third one, is slightly wider acceptance. I think people have grown used to the idea that prices can change in real time for some services. So it's sort of, you see it creeping into new industries over time.
Robert, I'm wondering, with the example of airlines, sometimes that means that you can snag really great deals. Other times it means that, if you've been searching around for a while for your same route, you might be doing yourself a disservice. I'm wondering if consumers have any protections from the prices going up as a result of surging pricing, or if there might actually be some benefits to those of us that are more budget conscious.
Yeah, so consumers, of course, are always welcome to vote with their feet if they are upset about surge pricing, about the changes in prices. And I think there are good reasons to be upset when you can't plan because prices are varying so dramatically over time. It makes life more difficult. And consumers can decide not to frequent a particular service because of that. It is worth asking, though, what the alternatives are. If you don't do surge pricing, what typically happens is that limited capacity is going to be rationed by waiting time, for example. So for Uber, if they did not surge price, what will happen is that you will get longer and longer waits. And some people see that as more fair. It's first come, first serve. So if you're in first, you get the ride. But surge pricing does have the benefit of allocating that capacity to the people who really, really want it and are willing to pay higher prices.
Robert Shumsky. Robert, it's fascinating to hear the role that technology is playing in this, as more data, as you point out, is available to businesses and services everywhere. Robert, thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.